And type 1 is something that I'll live with my whole life. It'll never be cured. My name is Hannah Giffen. I'm 20 years old and I am a type 1 diabetic from Moore Park, California. I was diagnosed November 25th, 2007. I was 11 years old. Being diagnosed, it wasn't necessarily a scary experience for me. My dad's also type 1 his whole life since he was 11. So I kind of grew up with the basic knowledge of it, so I knew it wasn't, this terrifying, deadly disease. We knew that something was up because I had lost a lot of weight. I was 11 years old and I weighed 70 pounds and under. I was never admitted to the hospital because my dad had all the supplies at home. I was diagnosed at home. I have to test my blood sugar 10 to 15 times a day, which means poking my finger. I have little black dots all over my fingers. I have to change my pump site every 3 to 4 days. And then before I was on the pump, I gave shots every time I ate. At least 3 to 4 times a day I was giving a shot, because if my blood sugar is high, then I give an insulin shot, and if my blood sugar is low, then I eat candy. And one thing that most people don't get about type 1 is that we can eat whatever we want. People say, oh, you shouldn't be eating that, you're diabetic, but that's type 2. I can eat whatever I want. I didn't get this from being obese. So growing up with type 1, it definitely matured me a lot quicker than most of my schoolmates and friends, because I had this disease that kind of took over my life. Every second I had to think about, oh, do I have to give insulin for that? Should I have juice before I go play at the park? Should I have this snack? Should I just have something with no carbs in it, like a glass of water? Or sugar-free Jello, which I love sugar-free Jello. It's delicious. It definitely strengthened my relationship with my parents and my grandparents. Diabetes it brought my family together in situations that most families would kind of fall apart. My parents were always there for me no matter what. Always had my mom right there. She never questioned anything. If something was wrong, if I called, she would be there in, I don't know how, but under 5 minutes. So I was diagnosed November 25th, 2007, and that following summer I actually went to Camp Conrad Chinook, which is a camp for type 1 diabetics. And I didn't really know what to expect. I just kind of went, I was like, something to do for a week. And when I got there, I was surrounded by hundreds of type 1 diabetics, which I thought my dad and I were the only two in the world. It felt like we were alone. It's a very lonely disease because there's not that many people around you. It's not very commonly talked about. So when I went to camp for the first time, it changed my life, because I had this support group, a community, friends that I never knew I would have. So now that I'm no longer a camper, I am a counselor, and we try to make the kids feel as normal as possible while having this disease, because it shouldn't set any of them back from what they love. We just try to give the kids the most enjoyable, normal experience while being surrounded by everyone who has the same disease. But I kept going to camp every summer. That was something that was very important to me. My parents understood that it was necessary, and so I have my core group of friends from camp, and I met my boyfriend through camp. His brother's type 1, and life just got a lot better once I left high school, and being more involved in the diabetes community. I have raised over $100,000 in fundraising for type 1 diabetes. I was the youth ambassador for the American Diabetes Association for about 4 years. So I just kind of threw myself into it instead of letting myself get down, because I figured if I'm going to be stuck with it my whole life, might as well not hate the disease that I'm stuck with. So I'm Hannah, I'm type 1 diabetic from Moore Park, and that is my story.